There once were two merchants who were close friends. Both of them had to decide whether to travel because they were preparing for business travels to sell their goods together. They both agreed that it would be crowded to go at the same time because they each had around 500 carts and were traveling in the same direction along the same road. One concluded that going first would be much better. The bullocks will be able to choose the best grass out of all the available options. We'll find the best fruits and veggies to eat. My people will respect my leadership, and in the end, I'll be able to negotiate for the best pricing, he reasoned. The other merchant gave it some thought and concluded there were benefits to coming in second. My friend's carts will level the ground so we won't have to do any road work, he reasoned. His bullocks will eat the old, thorny grass, and new, tender shoots will spring up for mine to eat. In a similar manner, they will harvest the ripe fruits and vegetables as new ones continue to grow for our enjoyment. When I can accept the price that has already been fixed and make a profit, I won't have to waste time haggling. He consequently consented to let his friend go first. This friend left first since he was confident that he had misled him and triumphed. The trader who went first had difficulties. They arrived at a desert area known as the waterless desert, which the locals claimed was possessed by demons. The caravan encountered a sizable gathering traveling in the opposite direction as they approached its center. They were pulling carts that were covered in water and muck. Both in their hands and in the carts, they were carrying lotuses and water lilies. "Why are you carrying these hefty bags of water?" the head guy, who had a superior attitude, asked the merchant. "You'll have enough of water to drink and dates to eat when you get to that oasis on the horizon. Throw away the water and be gentle to your overworked animals because your bullocks are exhausted from lugging those hefty carts laden with extra water." The locals had warned them, but the merchant was unaware that they were not actual people but disguised demons. Even worse, they posed a threat of eating them. He took their advice and had all of his water dumped into the ground since he felt they were kind people. They discovered neither an oasis nor any water as they continued on their journey. Some grumbled and accused the merchant after realizing they had been duped by creatures that may have been demons. All of the people were worn out at the end of the day. Due to a lack of water, the bullocks were unable to pull the hefty carts. Everyone, even the animals, collapsed to the ground in a haphazard fashion and dozed off. As it turned out, the demons arrived throughout the night in their actual terrifying shapes and devoured all the frail, vulnerable creatures. Not a single person or animal was still alive after they were finished. Only bones remained. The second merchant started his voyage in the same direction after a few months had passed. He gathered all of his people when he reached the wilderness and warned them, "This is known as the waterless desert, and I have heard that it is inhabited by ghosts and demons. As a result, we need to exercise caution. Don't drink any local water without asking me because there can be poisonous plants and contaminated water." They entered the desert in this manner. Similar to the first caravan, they were met by the water-soaked demons in disguise after reaching about halfway through. They advised them to discard their water because the oasis was close by. But the astute businessman immediately saw through them. He was aware that it was absurd to have an oasis in a region known as the waterless desert. In addition, he thought these folks might be devils because of their protruding red eyes and overbearing demeanor. "We are businessmen who don't throw away good water before we know where the next is coming from," he said in order for them to leave them alone. The merchant then observed that his own people had reservations and warned them not to believe these individuals, who might be demons, unless we actually found water. The oasis they point to might just be a mirage or a delusion. Do you remember ever hearing about water in this waterless desert? Do you notice any storm clouds or feel any wind or rain? If we trust these outsiders and throw away our water, he added, then later we may not have any to drink or cook with. When we are weak and parched, demons will easily come and rob us or perhaps eat us alive. Therefore, until we genuinely locate water, do not waste even a drop. The first caravan's people and bullocks were slaughtered and eaten by the demons there, and the second caravan carried on till it arrived there that evening. They discovered the carts and a large number of bones, both human and animal. The completely loaded wagons and the strewn bones were evidently from the previous trip. A few individuals were assigned to keep guard around the camp at night by the wise merchant. The people had breakfast the following morning and fed their bullocks well. The most valuable items still in the earlier caravan were added to their cargo. In order to enjoy their profits with their families and to complete their voyage successfully, they returned back home. The lesson is to always be savvy enough to avoid being duped by shady language and deceptive appearances.